Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, and I believe he's ready to go with today's teaching and information. Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you there?
Yes, good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to these Knowledge Seekers series of programs. We have some new teachings and we have some new ideas. As usual, we share on Thursdays. We welcome many of the people in the background who come from different establishments and government organizations to the teaching. We know many of the national and international organizations and government officials have started, especially on the financial side, since we went into American market, listening to these teachings, and has made a lot of difference, politically and diplomatically and financially for the governments and for the nations, and in so many ways has brought Keshe Foundation in a new dimension. One of the most important things which the new work has started is that Foundation changed its approach in past few months in respect to work with governments, work interfacing with governments. In the past, whenever we announced we are going, for example, to such a country, the team of what we call people in different part of, especially Belgium, start calling their hotels, the governments, and sending documents that is abroad and blah, blah. We give these documents in advance of any communication with the government, and we give them a choice. You go with this, which is going to European Court of Justice, or you go with the technology which can change your government. And we have seen the change of governments. And two of the governments, especially now, has set up a special security system for the calls which come in, that they can trace who it is, what it is, and further on we tell you what we were doing to do with them. These all telephone calls, numbers and people will be as part of our evidence to the European Court of Justice. The two nations we advanced one we are going to, they already transferred documents to us. All the calls and who were made, and they thought they were according the way government or the other governments, and they thought they called the Brazilian government, and then they called this and that. We are collecting all these data. So that's why we give you advance warning that you start making your calls. This is adding to our file in the European Court of Justice for large damages which are sitting in there to come up. We know, as we said before, this is how Keshe Foundation is working from now on. We head on. We are an organization internationally supporting, and since last time we were in Brazil, the officials, international officials, came to an agreement with us in the background that this is what we're going to do, because they realize how much damage has been done deliberately to steal the technology from the benefiting other nations. So please make call as much as you can to all the hotels, to all the government officials, what you made to everywhere. Now you are making us more solid in a claim against the state of Belgium. It's very straightforward. And you did not realize how we set you up, but this is the way the foundation works from now on. Our initial contacts with officials and government, the case organize ourselves. We give the case of the fraud, which is set up by the Court of Belgium. We give them our case appeal, and they can read immediately armed officers in the police station. This is criminal. We could not believe it's happening. This has led the court case of Belgium with the Keshe Foundation and what is happening with the human trafficking to we hear abdication in the structure of the Belgian government. There is a possibility. We hear there's a possibility that now so much human trafficking cannot happen without the knowledge of people on top. Now the investigation into the whole structure of the human trafficking in Belgium and what has happened to Keshe Foundation and stealing technologies has merged together. And they'll come up in the European Court of Justice in our appeal. And we hear a lot of people are traveling to different countries trying to arrange how they can escape once this hits out. This is a matter of time which will come out. It's here in Brazil at the moment. We arrived in the beautiful nation of Brazil for a second time in past 24 hours. Call the government. We are collecting data. Please do. We give you the name and the hotel and everywhere else. We set you up and you fell in it. And now we have a full evidence. This is what we were looking for, to go to European Court of Justice. Systematic governmental harassing scientists and everybody else. Then you understand how Keshe Foundation has become. When we informed you the last time when we were in Brazil 2 weeks ago, the nations of BRIC, when we were in Brazil 2 weeks ago, the nations of BRIC allowed us to stay with them. You just walked into what we wanted. Now we have actual names, telephone numbers, and everything else, which is done. And everybody else. We tell you where we are. We are in the country of Malta on the 16th, 17th, 18th of January. Please call. We are collecting more data. And then the same is, we are becoming very wise, and governments have become very wise because the data are coming up. And there is one thing most of you do not know, people work around this way. Most of the world leaders and their families are sick and are turning to Keshe Foundation because there is. Now I understand how we change. We support the world leaders, their families, the growing governments with their health, and they can see how much lie has been told and how much has been kept from humanity. Now, please make more calls. And the more you make, the easier it makes for us to do our work for when it's come to European Court of Justice and other cases which are running around. As I said, we are aware of abdication of one of world leaders. One of monarchies has asked and is making to abdicate. We the name and the details. This has been received through our securities. And we never speak out unless it is there. And you will understand one of the world leading monarchs, or one of the biggest, crookedest monarchs, will soon abdicate. And it will be the end of things to be promised. Because the structure is extremely dangerous for this nation. And we have to see how much the other nations are popping it up to, how far we'll go. But as we know, the king has made a trip requesting for arrangement for him and his family to be safe. We will go into this in full detail. You might hear it from us, or it might come into public domain in coming times. The beauty with it is that we all become equal. Nobody is over no one, and there is no kingship. There's no what we call structures to damage others. On the other hand, as we are aware, we launched the development of what we call the enhancement unit. The enhancement unit has been a success and is picking up. A lot of people are waiting for its physical appearance. It will be most probably presented in Dubai 2020, what we call exhibition. It will be predominantly will be displayed and released in January, and will lean into deliveries to worldwide. The enhancement unit was to correct what is going wrong with the human body. As you know, there is a conference going on today in Spain in respect to environmental cleanup of the mess we made, and the governments have no answer for it. All what agreed in Paris conference and the other one cannot be met, because the need for energy, the need for a new style of life puts demand on. The coal, stopping of the coal, what we call generators or power stations, was supposed to start in 2020, but no government has that power. Chinese government will collapse economically if it do, and to sustain many other nations, like what we call African nations who have coal, but the natural resources have reached the maximum, cannot apply with nuclear technology, but then they have to go into the coal and in gas, which this creates a new dimension for addition and extra what we call CO2 or what we call climate warming and whatever they want to call it. Today we announced the following. Keshe Foundation in a
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we just heard the last that you're about to make an announcement, and
what did you hear?
No announcement.
Stop. Yes, no announcement. That's a good announcement. What we do, we make an announcement that in Mexico conference, 100% in conference in Mexico, Keshe Foundation will release a new system for health of this planet. We have developed, and the same once we show the what we call the enhancement unit for body of the man, we will deliver a new technology, mass production for absorption of the CO2 in the large quantities, especially in cities. There is an option for us to make this system to be individually tailored or nationally tailored. We have the technology that we can extract large amounts of CO2 from the environment and convert this into a useful product. This is our response to what we call the conference in Spain, that the world governments, world leaders in the next few days will make a lot of speech on our law, but there is no solution for them. Keshe Foundation will submit such a solution. We have a big dilemma with this development. I explained this before. This extraction of what we call CO2 or what we call cause of global warming, partial process will not change. But on the other hand, this increase in different levels of whatever we have in the environment has come to us over 50 years as we become more industrial nations. And most of our generation have received, and most of the plants and even human bodies have adapted to these new changes. That's why we see so much cancer too. Increase in what we call materials in the environment through the exhaust pipes or whatever has created a new condition, new evolution in the environment that the body of the man has to evolve with it. And as we cannot evolve so fast, we end up with cancers. So part of the evolutionary cause of cancer is part of what we see. And it's not just global warming, it's going to get higher. The cancer rates partially is due to this. We are putting too many metals in the space that we are breathing. The new technology which will be delivered and will be mass produced is to return and change this position. Again, the systems for governmental level will stay at values that we consider to be correct if the government wants to, or in a what we call portable version for individuals who want to do. But government have to decide what percentage, at what rate we are going to clean up. It's not that it's going to be done. Now that it's in our hand and we can extract it, is how much governments allow us to extract. Because if we increase the level of oxygen in respect to CO2, we will create a different dangerous climate condition. This is part of what we do. We are not coming to sort a problem, we are coming to stop another problem too. If you understand, in a way, we have created a tree that releases oxygen, but how much oxygen can we put in? The game which the Dutch people play, that you could buy a tree in Amazon that it creates more oxygen. Now, this tree can be made to be in your home. You have full control of how much you convert. But then, if millions of us convert at the same time, what damage we are going to create to ourselves? The problem is not that the mankind does not have the knowledge to stop anymore, but is if we return too fast, what damages are going to cause on the planet again, and then if the damages are not going to be more than letting the CO2 to be created by controlling it to a low level. In a way, now that we have developed the technology for what we call enhancement for human body, we have developed the technology for enhancement for the planet. We're healing the body of the man with the new technology. Now we're healing the body of the planet. But this process will have direct effect on every single being on this planet who in the past 50 years, 100 years, due to man industrialization, have started evolving. The evolution due to industrialization creates cancer, creates new positions we call cancer. Now that we have the knowledge to convert, we now understand the life of the vertical people, how they convert CO2 into oxygen, and we have the knowledge to do this conversion. What is going to be the consequences on us and our children? What does this new technology in conversion and extraction of CO2 brings us? Are we going to cry in 20 years that we have converted too much? As you know, the life on this planet came through the availability of the CO2 and oxygen. Now, we brought it from underground to overground, and now we are converting it overground. We are converting in a way one condition to another. The technology, as we said, now we understood the promise of man being able to mutate materials. This new technology, which is going to be released and it will be shown in Mexico, coincides with my arrest when I went from Europe to go to Brazil to help the Brazil Gulf oil disaster. And it's an appropriate time to be shown, an appropriate place for us to show. We We go back to Mexico to complete what I started, what we call 10 years ago. Following that, once we can come to that point, Keshe Foundation in the coming months will release new technologies which will be added to plastic. We can convert, we have the technology to convert most of the plastics in the oceans into gas. But again, we add the carbon and the hydrogen level. How are we going to convert those? We have the technology, as I explained recently, to convert. This is a coffee machine running. We have to wait till it stops. Stop. So what we're going to do is to convert the what we call into gas elements. But what damages that's going to bring. From now on, now that we have the knowledge and the technology of the plasma and the gas technology, every step we take has to be considered what are the consequences and sequences of the change. We cannot anymore just do things and hope somebody will clean it up. If you're extracting CO2, what we call global warming, which is not, is due mainly to movement of the earth toward the sun. If you're cleaning up the plastics, what are we going to do with the materials which we have changed to plastic? What is going to be this next sequence of it? Conversion of the plastic at this level, as we see in the oceans, will release huge amount of gas of carbon. Huge amount of hydrogen will be released. They bring new conditions. The of a carbon in the proximity of the oceans as we see them floating will create a new cycle of CO2. Then what are we going to do with it? How are we going to store these gases? How are we going to store these new materials? How are we going to convert them? One of my propositions to the government world leaders in the meetings we had with different organizations is, are we going to create what we call tank farms holding gases? In the long term, as I was present with one of the future world leaders in the past few days, I explained to him, he showed me the tank farms, and I said, we can do this with the gas. He said, this is the land available, let's do it. I said, but how are we going to convert and hold gases in tanks in such a massive quantities? What is the consequences for human race? Because they are huge energy sources. They are not anymore sitting there doing nothing. It's not the oil anymore. These are what we have to plan now that we understand the technology of the Keshe. It's not anymore if and when things might go wrong that we had to interfere. The new technology and the new science, which is developed by the Keshe Foundation around the world with different scientists, allows this to happen. Extraction of materials at will is in our command. Extraction of any material in space is in our command. We have gathered the knowledge, we have access to the technology, and now as we gather different fields in travel, in school, for whatever we need, now we have translated that technology to be used on this planet. In the coming time, as I'll explain to some of the world leaders and governments, the mining, the way we do
is finished. Open cast mining, depth mining is over. The technology in the coming months will be released internationally. Keshe Foundation has entered in saving the planet through the new technology, and we will be ruthless in delivering it. The human body enhancement unit will be one of the smallest things the foundation will ever do. As we build up for the space development to be shown in Tehran in April, we release more radical technologies physically that it will be developed and it will be distributed by the Keshe Foundation Manufacturing Division from base around the world. So, in a way, today's announcement is very simple. We are releasing a new technology, new system that extracts all the CO2 as much as you like, but we are not creating another problem. We're trying to solve another one. What are we going to do with the extractions with cleaner cities? How are we preparing our people to go through what we call the reverse evolution, which has caused so many deaths, so many cancers, and now has to go through another process? And what would we create? In the coming time, the Keshe Foundation Research Centers will go through this evolution to develop these technologies. We start from January bringing the Keshe Foundation experts from all over the world in 2 or 3 centers. Scientists from Iran, scientists from China, scientists from all over the world, Brazil, from America, from Canada, will be brought into 1 or 2 centers that the development becomes rapid. We have acquired properties and positions that allows us as a Keshe Foundation to move in this position. In due course, the Keshe Foundation will make announcements, as we said. By setting up, developing these technologies, we have become industrial power. And this will give us a new position and opportunities for environmental cleanup and everything else. We have, in past 48 hours, submitted a full dossier to one of the world-leading governments in respect to cleanup of one of the most radical pollutions involving the nations. And in due course, we will announce. We have entered a new phase. As much as we teach about the soul, we have to repair the physicality. And this planet has a soul, and it needs to be corrected and have spiritual life. We have developed, and now we're delivering what we call the body enhancement, which will change its name to the soul enhancement technology, where it's easier to enter and interact with the soul of the elements and the physicality of it as we enter the space technology. Many people information about different aspects of all the time. How do we do this? How can be done? What has happened? What can I do? Or how can I make this and that? To this effect, we respond the following. From beginning of the next term of the KF SSI in January, every Friday, possibly half day, and if it picks up to a full day, 9 to 5, which can cover all the continents, all the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers, a question and answer session, which means you have a problem you don't understand. Knowledge seekers collectively or through our experts in different fields will try to answer and solve the problems. There is one point which I have mentioned and brought to the attention of the Keshe Foundation team is very simple. We are not allowing people to come in and claim they are professors at Keshe Foundation, they do this, they do that. This platform will run that collectively everybody shares knowledge, answering questions, and not one person is correct. So we allow different views, different knowledge seekers with different expertise to come in and to show what they can do, what they think of it, how do they do it, what is the new insight. This goes with what the KF SSI Education from January will come into. We do not go in teaching answers and whatever. We go through collective teams to develop new systems, new insights into all aspects. So it goes in a way, KF SSI, into a research, and while you're developing something to achieve something collectively as different groups, you learn what you haven't learned from other parts. It's easier this way than people coming in and talking about the gas. For example, if you come up with a new system for cleaning water, and then you set up to do it, the Keshe Foundation Research Centers will connect to you, and so the knowledge seekers online, Zoom, or they can come to the research centers for a while to develop what they were discussing. We are transferring the research and development from KF SSI directly to all of you. No respect. As I said, we are not allowed to peer review. We're allowed to encourage to develop. And the only thing is, if it's too much crazy ideas, we need too many crazy people to prove crazily it works. So try to collectively, as students and knowledge seekers, to come together from the next term, enroll yourself in, and start enhancing your interest. You don't come in and sit to the others just telling you what to make answers. We want you to collectively come together and start putting ideas how this technology can evolve into anything that 2, 3, maybe 5 or 10 people want to work together to develop it. And you're given the opportunity of free, what we call the labs, which are getting developed. And then you have the opportunity even to take it in to be able to deliver for other people to benefit by it. This is substantially different than what we've done before, because it's become, oh, you gases, you do this and you do that, you nano-coat it, you do it backwards. We've done enough of that. There is enough literature on what rooms and different rooms. Now we're going into part of converting the knowledge into practicality. And as we said, we don't give no degrees in KF SSI, but if you can achieve to change things for humanity, even for one man with what we make, that makes a lot, and that will be part of our work. On the other hand, as you are aware, we had to shrink the Keshe Foundation store because of the situation in Italy. The knowledge seekers from next week, we get a new opportunity with the new products which will come into Keshe Foundation shop, hopefully by next Thursday. This brings in all the items which we had before, and the prices, as we promised, will be kept at about €9.99 or €19.99. You don't need to pay 100 and odd euro or 50 euro, 60 euro to different people to buy. You buy everything at $9.99. Delivery, everything will have American certification and European certification. We have secured the technology systems that all our products from next week will carry both the American certification and European certification that can be shipped to anywhere around the world. The American store, US, will be merged into the Total Keshe Foundation website. So we don't have the separation. As the Keshe Foundation has separated with Global, Global has nothing to do with the Keshe Foundation products. And we bring, as we close the what we call KF US down to become, and we take over as a Keshe Foundation, we bring everything back in order to the Keshe Foundation as KF US, what we call Global, has to do its own operation, and Keshe Foundation is the owner of the website, and it's been for years. So we offer the products through the Keshe Foundation website as of next week. We hope to release between 30 plus items, and the following months we increase this to 300 units. So you see all the pain pads, all the what we call ankle patches and everything else, around about $9.99, $19.99, and you will see the return of many things which was, and it was what we call taken off the Keshe Foundation to the operation of Italian, what we call inception, now will come in a bigger way with a range of colors and everything else, and we can reduce the prices to half of that if need be. This goes back to our distributors who were cheated and moved on to the Italian operation. In the next few days, the head of the Keshe Foundation will call all the distributors into a meeting. You have to make a very clear choice. You work with the Keshe Foundation as you were the Keshe Foundation and you were taken out, or you stick with the people you went to and we close your account. This is very straightforward till the situation with the Italian organization is sorted with the central government of Italy, how they're going to handle such a work. We have to be very correct, and so we thought we'll disconnect and literally close all the distributors' accounts who went to what we found out they were cheated, they were lied to, and many of them come back to us and we understand this position. We have to be correct. And at the same time, in setting up of these new parameters, we encourage our distributors to become, in a very large scale, much more bigger operatives. In a way, if you think you can sell for the foundation's products, we encourage you, we set you up in a different way, and we allow you, we would like to extend the sale of these bigger units to what we call different publics, different groups, different hospitals, and we train the new distributors or the old distributors to make a new management distribution. In a way, we are not going out to find sales group. We are using the existing Keshe Foundation people who stay loyal to the foundation to work and build their own sales team group internationally. Keshe Foundation has to grow within. And many people made a lot of effort to do this over years, and one rogue affair does not mean everything is lost. We allow the distributors to meet. You receive a call from the Keshe Foundation, head of Keshe Foundation, next few days to come into this meeting. The plan is very clear. Those who work with the foundation, follow the leaders of the foundation, will be supported by the foundation. And we want to increase, we want to develop the culture of the Keshe Foundation GANs and other products internationally through our distributors. We are now setting up another parallel for those who work locally. We will announce this in the due course when it's settled. So in a way, we are looking to those who are distributors for the Keshe Foundation to set up a management of distribution and a sales team for the Keshe Foundation worldwide. Otherwise, we have to go outside to bring people from outside. And we see when we bring people from outside, the cheating and the lying we saw in Italy. They were not knowledge seekers. They were brought in and they thought they took opportunity. But Italian officials look at it totally different. They got away with it. But criminality is shining all over it. And the Italian government has taken a very, very serious view in this matter because they need the Keshe Foundation for something else in the structure which can affect Italian, what we call position internationally. We are not taking the nation to any point. We are taking it to the nation that will be profitable and comfortable for both. So, as you can see, we are bringing, centralizing everything as Keshe Foundation and not the global. Global operation has to go through its own way and the structure it has. In this way, as I said, the shop will increase rapidly from next week. They're doing the catalog and the translation of it that you can have in different translations. Certification, European certification, American certification will come with all the products. Delivery will be very rapid. We are holding a massive stock. They're available for dispatch. And at the same time, we centralize everything in order to China has become and has become a center point of work of the Keshe Foundation. And in when we hold our storage depots in China, and we distribute from China, which is easy for us to do. And the knowledge seekers in China have supported us to achieve this point, and we'll carry on with the same process. As you saw before, there was delay in deliveries for specific reasons that to discredit the foundation. That has already been sorted. We have structured everything back into order, and we bring everything on the banner of totally be controlled by the Keshe Foundation Austria. Keshe Foundation Austria has become the center point and the work of the Keshe Foundation worldwide. But the operation will move into Malta in 2020. These are announcements we had to make because I think the global warming and the conference was important for us to know. These new machines will be seen in Almudon in Mexico. And as our team are working in different angles, we will announce a new research center which will be opened very soon. We are in the negotiation part. Hopefully by the end of this month, we will complete it and it will become part of the our people will be requesting 3, maybe 5 top Iranian scientists to join us in this research center. The same from the American side. We are not looking for knowledge seekers who are enthusiasts. These are scientists. These are literally what people work with the Keshe Foundation technology in universities and other parts. You are bringing no knowledge is bad. Every knowledge, we just got to see how we can amalgamate it, bring it in, and giving the scientists a groundwork that they can enhance it. I met with a beautiful scientist from Iran in my visit in Dubai last week. They have developed a new technology, a fire extinguisher. We've seen this in other parts, but they're trying to merge it with the gas technology. We support it. And as I've said to them, we'll enhance this program. If it is what it shows to be, the Keshe Foundation research availability and what we call commercialization is available to them. We have other scientists from the world who practicality of how it can be done. Many Chinese scientists are doing the same. We start supporting this. Somebody's microphone is open.
Yeah, that's me, Mr. Keshe.
We have Americans.
We missed just part of the sentence there. Just before you mentioned about the Chinese, we missed a sentence there about how the scientists were going to do something, and that we missed that connection there between when you talked about the Chinese.
Did you hear about the Iranians?
Yes.
Yeah. So the scientists who develop different technologies will give them room to see how we can merge it with the plasma and gas technology. As I said from the beginning of the time when we started the Keshe Foundation, the present knowledge is built on the past achievements of human race. We are not something off the ground, just ourselves. We have built knowledge on the knowledge of our own fathers and forefathers. So we have to respect this, and we have to develop this in the correct way. So we build on the knowledge which you have gained in universities, in your work. And if it's practical, if it can be done, if we can support it, we bring it out and we support you to extend the knowledge to be able to bring new technologies out. This technology is not just the gas of CO2 or the others. The scientists in Iran are working heavily in agriculture and other parts, and those who don't understand it, they claim there is something wrong, because actually when I look, some of the scientists, especially in Iran, do their job, is laughable because they haven't understood and they claim a lot. And if they understood it and they've done it properly, they will see how correct it is. But they have to learn, do not spoon feed more blueprinting and people copying and then keep quiet, and those who do not understand, then they blame for their own lack of understanding. These kind of processes with us has come to an end. As I said, we have moved in different ways, and we will develop new ways. You will hear some new announcements that might surprise you, that the Keshe Foundation will release the book number 4 in a very short time, in 2020. Book number 8, in conjunction with a new patent, will be released. As you know, we released the patent to be published by World Patent for us freely, that everybody get access to it. We are now patenting it to lock. So, in so many ways, as I said, we are returning back to Belgium very soon. For that reason, we are releasing the books. Keshe Foundation, book number 4, The Creation of the Solar System, will be released in 2020. And all the diagrams, all the, what we call the book, will be more than what was done originally. We added more chapters to it. The patent for the creation of magnetic field, the origin of magnetic field, the book number 8 will be published. As you know, the book number 9, The Soul, and these will change as part of teaching standard at the time, and he was collecting, and other knowledge seekers at the book number 9. The only question is, how are we going to demonstrate the soul of the man. Said book number 4 will be published in 2020, The Creation of Solar System. In much more depth, you'll understand more. Book number 8 will be done. This is one of the reasons I'm withdrawing from public life and to concentrate to be able to do more research and more development. The Keshe Foundation and the others will take over. That it allows us to contribute as much as possible while we're on this planet, that it can enhance the knowledge of man. We invite Red Circle, if he likes, to come and complete the pictures on the platform number 4, book number 4. We welcome him. Whatever he's done is his. That's what we do with him outside is that. He's been a good illustrator for it. He's invited back to work with us to finish book number 4 because he understands it fully. The same way he has the intellect to write the pattern for the creation of the what we call magnetic fields. We invite you back if you want to write the patterns to collaboration the same as before. In Keshe Foundation, we don't keep enemies. We keep those to understand what the enemy themselves are. In this process, number of books will be start releasing in what we call book number 5 and 6. We don't work in the background, we work directly. So in a way, whatever those who want to be involved in the what we call the graphics of book number 4, and those who want to be involved in the pattern of the creation of magnetic fields, which goes back to essence of the creation of the creator. We are opening that door in 2020. I'll put more time in that as now the technologies are getting developed and what we call marketed by the Keshe Foundation team. So in a very simple way, that core essence. If you want to do the illustration for book number 4, we can do it. We don't need to go back onto anything else. At the same time, you're a good pattern writer, and the creation of the what we call magnetic fields will be a good place to complete the full what we started years ago. This is part of working the way people and they it's time to complete the cycle. As I said, by March 2021, I will leave the Keshe Foundation operation totally. And all these things has to be completed by the next 18 months. In directions and work to complete the full knowledge and technologies that mankind has enough to build on that will not fall in the traps of the past to be controlled by those who call themselves religious leaders or hold the key to the door of a mosque, a church, or a synagogue. We open all the doors to complete the knowledge, and those who have contributed to us more will appreciate it, how this technology will take shape in much, much deeper shape and form. Now that we have understood and completed most part of the research. This is a part work that has to be completed for mankind to become knowledgeable, to enter the final phase of what we call distribution and understanding of the knowledge, that in the space we don't become slaves. The slaves to no one except own ignorance. And if we do not understand it, there has to have a meeting, what we call a way, has a process that it reaches that point and is not magic, and is not that we have to show. As I said many, many times, I will not show any magic. because the time of magicians in the name of profit to raise dead, to make blind men to see is all over. Because now we have raised the soul of the man to understand the totality, that the physicality is part of his operation. And this is what the changes will come. This is what the process will add up to all our knowledge. In the process of the teaching, we have to understand teaching will never end. A man who says who knows all of it is the man who knows none of it. Because if he knows none, he will not claim. We just share knowledge. That's why we call them knowledge seekers. And we invite everyone to come and join and share. As I said, we are making it possible for all nations, all governments to be involved as part of our work and part of our what we call process. We will announce in the coming time clinical trials which has started with universities for diseases like Parkinson, all the brain diseases. We have signed an agreement in a few days, and hopefully within next week or so, as it gets its final shape, we announce the clinical, one of the largest clinical trials for properly evaluating and developing a pattern understanding of the whole process. In the coming time, in a space as we cannot take doctors, we have to develop technologies which can diagnose the disease, or we go through the balance of the soul through the universal enhancement system, that once you go into the system, the body enhances to what it had to be perfect. One of the important points about the enhancement unit is that it's a space unit. In a space, we suffer from viruses, from the energy packs. And this system is set to extract any additional or depleting virus system. The enhancement unit is a space technology unit, and this is what many of you will come to realize. This is why the system works so beautifully more with the soul of the man than the physicality of the man. The soul of the man is an energy pack independent of amino acid strength in a physical dimension. As I said, step by step in different teachings, I open up the truth about the universal system, the enhancement unit. This is why the enhancement unit, the new system, is so vital to be utilized internationally very rapidly. Because in the dimension of this system, we do not interfere so much with the physicality, but the system as is in the plasma and is set to the amino acid, the strength of the man, it keeps steady, continues the same strength. So any addition, as is stronger in feeding it, it depletes itself. At the same time, if there is any reduction, it gets elevated by the system. So in a way, the system, the enhancement unit, is not as you thought at the beginning. You go in there and you get Parkinson, you get corrected, and then you go, you don't have. The Parkinson comes from the space gap in the energy of what we call emotion and physicality. And the system balances it, and then you see it. You should have understood this when you saw the man standing up after 2 days, 3 days, using the enhancement unit in China. without any physiotherapy, without anything else, without actually doing anything, by just enhancing the soul in the system, the physicality just followed. The new technology, the new space technology, this is what we'll do. If you go into a system and you come out of the system with a cancer, you go in, you come out without the cancer, is emotional. You'll find out it's the soul of the man which sorts it out. But if you go through the evolution cancer, you're talking about the interaction of the soul of the man in the dimension of physicality with the soul of the planet to adjust each other, that they can accommodate each other, that one can live with the changes with the physical dimension of the planet. In the new system, in what we call the universal system, we consider the soul of the planet in respect to the soul of the man. In that process, most what we call evolution will find a position to accommodate each other that does not lead to the demise of the man. Now you understand more what these universal systems are set to do. The whole process is not just making you to be better or not the cancer. The universal system in the position of not use will be used for different aspects of the health of the body of the man, for feeding the man and the rest. In so many ways, what we see in the coming years, as we say in English, why the Pakistanis never win a World Cup is because every corner they find, they open a shop. Very soon, in every corner on this planet, you will find an enhancement unit. People going to feed, people don't do it, people want something, it'll become as normal as anything else. And this will take a lot of changes to the human race. This brings us a lot of changes to human race. That we do not to worry about where the food comes from. We do not to worry where the material comes from. We do not to worry where the shelter comes from. This is part of the same process. And we need to go through this phase to become what we call a true human race. People who understand it. People who not only look after their own physicality and their soul, they look after the soul of the planet, and in turn, collectively, we change the planet. And as more and more these systems are launched in space technology, by cleaning up the body of the man, by Mexico, by cleaning up the damage we've done to this planet by ourselves, and then we will explain to you what mankind has done in the world that you don't even know, that we extend the process of what we call rehabilitation. The new enhanced technology, the new enhancement system is in reality a total system that mankind has to gradually learn to be and to live with. As I was explaining to a number of knowledge seekers in the past few weeks, if you look at the shape of the enhancement unit, has the shape of the universe. It's not a sphere inside, it's oval inside. And in so many ways, when you take it by ratio, it's a copy of our universe. And if you look, the soul of the man, the physicality of the man, if that is the central line of the universe, creates balances of the energy. When we put man in the upright position, we create the same condition through the soul of the man. We call it the womb of the universe, not the womb of the mother. The universe is the womb where all and everything has been created. And when you look at the systems which is planted around it, these are like other universes affecting its work internally. In a way, when you look at the shell of the system, is a unicos, collection of different universes creating interacting fields inside. And inside, in responding to other to balance, it balances the body and the soul of the man. The new enhancement systems are replication of the creation of the creator. That's why we release the pattern, the book on the creation of the magnetic fields, on the creation of life in the universe by the creator. This process had to be brought to mankind this way, that it was in a step and in gradual steps. When you enter the enhancement unit, you will see satellites. And at the same time, you become part of the whole structure. Your soul has to find balance with itself and with the dimension of the universe. Soon mankind will understand. When we call it a universal system, does not mean applies to everything. It's a copy of the universe itself. And in that process, the body finds balance in every aspect. When mankind become wise enough and understand looking at it, when you sit a man inside, it'll be like a solar system in the galaxy of the universe. It will shine on its own as a star. The new enhancement unit is not what you thought. The new enhancement unit is a copy, a replication of the true life ignition and the start of the life as what we call the God, the Creator.
Sorry, we missed that line, Mr. Keshe. You said the new enhancement unit will
be a copy of exact replica of the universe. It is exactly what we expect from a life in the universe. It's a copy of the replication of the creation, where the Creator started the whole life. We call him God, we call him our whatever. But in the pattern to be released and in the book to be released, in conjunction with the universal system, mankind will come to understand what I have given. We use the ways of the universe to interact with the ways of the physicality of the man. And in this process, we create many, many new conditions, many new lives, many understanding for the man himself. Thou shalt not steal. You will understand very soon in these systems. No one can steal. Not even from the universe. the understanding of the motion of magnetic fields in the space of the universe leads to creation of new lives. And in so many ways, we do not have a GPS to know where the position is where we want to go. But with the new enhancement units, the technologies which is developed, mankind can position himself anywhere in the universe. We do not need to put satellites everywhere to find where we are. We use the knowledge and the connections of what we have developed to position ourselves in any position in the universe. Creation of the motion, creation of life, and understanding how life will look in that position will become part of the work of the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers and Research Centers in coming months and days. We have to understand how did magnetic field started. What is its origin? What led to the creation of fields? Even if there is a creator we call a God, even if we led ourselves to that path of need, it has to have a position. It has to have a field direction. And the question now becomes the situation between egg and sperm. Did the egg and the sperm came first, or did the soul of the man first? Or the interaction of the fields of the egg and the sperm led to the creation of the soul, which led to the creation of man? This question sits the same with the creator. Did the soul of the creator, which led to the creation of the universe, came from interaction of the fields? That through those fundamental structure of the field led to the creation of the creator, the soul of the creator, that itself led to the creation of the physicality of the creator, what we call God, which is the universe we see. In the coming time, in the books to be released and into what we call way to release it around the world as patterned, which is the easiest way to share knowledge for the human race, we bring this question to an end. It's not a matter of did the chicken come first or the egg. It's a matter of what led to the creation of the egg or the chicken. This is what we have to understand. And as you know, many foreigners have a problem with the kitchen and the chicken. Now we have to understand that we created the kitchen that they allowed and created a condition for the chicken to be born. Did the fields lead to the creation of the creator? But the question comes, where did the fields come from? Or is the life of a man nothing but a hallucination, a mirage, a phantom? These questions, if mankind answers before his step in the universal, what we call arena, he will come to understand that he's equal to all other creatures of the universe that know higher, but they understood more. Now he understands more that he cannot be magic. There is a huge problem in many cultures, in African cultures, in Middle Eastern cultures, in parts of what we call South America, in part of Asia, that people would not even give a cut of the hair to you because they say you can use it to control us. They believe in what we call black magic because they can control and do this and that. Would this have a position in a way that those who understood the access to the soul of the man, or do they control the imagination of the man to create what the man wants to see? As I was talking to a friend of ours recently, they control people through black magic. But the darkness and blackness of the magic is the man's lack of understanding of the totality of his own soul. And then would and can we enhance the soul of the man that he cannot be abused this way? Who's going to do to you the black magic or the white magic or rainbow magic in the universe, and you believe in it because he can do something, but he has learned a trick? These are the fundamental questions that we have to answer with the present knowledge, and with it, take mankind into the dimensions of the new space technology. In so many ways, where does the essence of the soul of the man comes from? And how can some of us get access, have access, or develop access to a higher order that we can make it magic for those who are in the lower order? How can we set up systems that uses the higher level of the whole structure of the universal magnetic gravitational fields? Where does mankind lead himself through his soul, not through his physicality? We had a very, very interesting, what we call encounter in our meeting or in our visit to Istanbul a couple of weeks ago. As you know, you can join what we call different kind of shows on Bosphorus and the river. We were joined with hundreds of other people, and on this venture, each nationality had a flag on the table. There were the Jewish people, there were the Bulgarians, there were the Chinese, there were the Iranians, there were the Japanese, there were the Saudis. From every culture, every flag was on the table to show which part of this planet you come from. But all hundreds of them were concentrated on what was there to be a joyful night. It was very interesting. Very, very interesting thing happened. And it was part of, I sit as an outside observer and look at the conduct of the man. At the table we were sitting, I was the Iranian, I had the flag of Iran. Behind me, there was a table of Iranians. On the edge of our table, there were a Saudi couple. And then joined another Saudi couple with the flags of Saudi Arabia on the table, a space gap of 2 chairs. And then the other side were maybe 6, 7 rows of Jewish people. When the program started, you have to understand there's a subconscious mentality. You can't put the Saudis, the Iranians, and the Jews together. There's going to be a mayhem. And when the function starts going, and these people are expert, they know this is what is the function, they emphasize that every nationality comes out, dances to their own music, sings their own music, that it brings a unification, or people understand a little bit, trying to calm the situation. But the strangest thing happened is the Saudis felt outcast, and they asked to be moved from the room. So the 4 Saudis moved out because they couldn't sit on the table with the Iranian and then with the Jews on the other side. This is the mental lock. This is what is going to happen to the mankind in this space, if you understand the logic behind it. When the music started and the dancing started, the Iranians, the Jews came in on the floor with a flag of Israel, because there was a lot of them. What I did, I took the Iranian flag and I joined them, and I gave the flag of Iran in exchange for their flag. They hesitated, and then they took the flag and they gave a flag, and we both kissed the flag. And then the Iranians and the Jews, you didn't know anymore. Accidentally, one of the Iranians was a beautiful, perfect dancer, and the Jews wouldn't let him go. What we saw was mankind loving each other. The color of flag. And the beauty of it was they were all eating non-kosher food and a non-halal food. And none of them cared, because they start eating from each other. They start dancing with each other. In the space, we'll have the same position. We need to dance with citizens of the universe. As long as they don't create fear in us. If they create that fear, mankind will go into space the same way. And those who choose to be outcasts will create a problem for themselves. In space, in the dimension of universe, the soul of the man should shine as an example of his planet and the soul of his creatures, irrespective of color, race, and the path of belief. What we learn is very simple. would mankind mature so fast to get to that point? Or would mankind still be tormented by those who want to abuse him for his development of his soul? Or would mankind have a fear to go into the system that become equal to the others? Very interesting will be that what happens when we put these systems for the world leaders and the common man to go in together. Would a soul bow to the other that you're a soul of a king? Or would the king bow to the soul of the father that you feed me? My existence is because of you. Let me understand how we have to behave in the space technology of today and in what is coming up. My words will be understood by mankind very soon. As I said to one of my very close friends, I'm sending a unit to the city of Brussels for the kings to walk in first, to lead their nation. I wonder what excuses they find not to enter it. And one will be gifted to Vatican. And we'll see if the Holy Father will let his flock in. And would they come out as they went in? Remember when we gave the key to the nations, to the governments, we announced it. As we send these units to the governments and the world religious leaders, we announce it. And it's for public to see them, how they come out. Would they go in for the illnesses, or would they go in and come up as new men? I wonder who would refuse the gift of elevation of his soul, the priest or the prisoner? The one whose soul was prisoned by the priest for centuries. I wonder if the Islamic leaders will refuse to enter, and what excuses they find not to enter. As I said, I'm a good teacher and I know how to work and how to teach. When we give these systems to the world leaders, to the nations, the leaders of the nation have to walk in through it first. As I said last time, the days are numbered. Around about 25th of January, we will show the first units. And in February, we'll get the world leaders to walk in. And let's see. Now you understand why some world leaders are planning their application. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. We did have a question earlier from Dan in the Q&A. He mentions the Romanian government has no solution for water contamination by sea vessels, such as dead ships, I believe he means. How can we help?
This problem exists for many nations. There's problems of sea contamination, especially oil contamination when they wash their tankers in the open spans of the what do you call open seas, and it gets washed into different areas from different countries, and from shipwrecks is something which we have created, and there is a solution for it. It's not just the Romanians. You have it heavily in the Gulf of Mexico. You have it heavily in Persian Gulf. You have it in anywhere there is oil export. Because if you've been in the oil industry, you know what they have to do. They have to wash their tanks from anything else because of they create gases inside. It can lead to explosion. If they have a different mixture of the oil, they have to be cleaned up, and they dump it in the ocean, and it just washes.
No, myślę, że tutaj parę ciekawych wątków po raz kolejny wypłynęło, które prezentował nam dr Keshe. Dużo było takich spraw odnośnie tego, co dzieje się wokół fundacji Belgii, sprawy w sądzie, także Włochy, oczyszczanie wody, tamte projekty, a także całe zamieszanie związane z tym, co zrobił oddział we Włoszech. Było też o wprowadzaniu tej technologii jako rozwiązania dla na przykład oczyszczania powietrza, ale też trzeba pamiętać o tym, że że człowiek w pewien sposób przyzwyczaił się, ewoluował do tych wzrastających poziomów dwutlenku węgla i teraz taka na przykład nagła zmiana czy zastosowanie tej technologii na zbyt szeroką skalę może też wpłynąć na to w drugi sposób, że będziemy mieli odwrotny efekt, właśnie zmniejszanie się tego dwutlenku węgla może spowodować negatywne skutki pod tym względem, że potrzebna jest, wiadomo, adaptacja, ewolucja, można powiedzieć, w kierunku tego, żeby fizyczność przyzwyczaiła się do tego nowego warunku i zazwyczaj, tak jak to kiedyś było omawiane w przypadku wertykalnych, czyli roślin, one są w stanie wytrzymać różne warunki klimatyczne, pogodowe. Drzewo potrafi na pustyni rosnąć i zaadoptuje się do tego warunku, ale w momencie, kiedy mówimy o horyzontalnych, tylko o wertykalnych, czyli o zwierzętach, ludziach i tak dalej, to tak już nie jest. Ta fizyczność potrzebuje trochę więcej czasu do tego, żeby ewoluować, przyzwyczaić się do tego nowego warunku. Także tutaj było takie ostrzeżenie i też dr Keshe wymieniał właśnie różne dziedziny zastosowania technologii gdzie prowadzone są rozmowy z różnymi krajami i różne projekty zawiązują się, ale oczywiście w pełni właśnie świadomości tego, jakie to może mieć skutki na środowisko. Było o wydobywaniu złóż przy użyciu tej technologii, to kolejna rzecz, która interesuje też wiele osób, wiele krajów. Konsekwencje tego wszystkiego było też zapowiedź tego, że co piątek będzie sesja pytań i odpowiedzi doktora Keszego. Chyba chodziło konkretnie w kwestii warsztatów prywatnych, gdzie tam kształtowane jest to w taki sposób od nowego semestru, od nowego roku, że to dzielenie się wiedzą, czy same zajęcia właśnie prywatne będą głównie skupiały się na tym, żeby grupy pracowały razem, rozwijały tą technologię w kierunku różnych projektów, jak to nawet dzisiaj na warsztacie na 306 dr Keshe powiedział, że jeśli do tej pory to był uniwersytet plazmy, to teraz przyszedł czas na te studia na przykład magisterskie, czy dalsze, te, które idą poza licencjat, więc podyplomowe, czy tak to się nazywa, więc w ten sposób będzie to wszystko się odbywało. Co piątki sesja pytań i odpowiedzi, grupy pracujące nad różnymi rodzaju rozwiązaniami, projektami. Jak tu było mówione, to nie chodzi o to, żeby wyrzucić całą starą wiedzę naszą, starą czy obecną, jakkolwiek to nazwiemy, do kosza, tylko chodzi o to, żeby wziąć właśnie technologię plazmy, technologię gansu i rozwinąć to wszystko jeszcze krok dalej, jedno przy użyciu drugiego. Więc ta symbioza, współpraca i rozwijanie właśnie tego na każdym poziomie, nie tylko przez ośrodki badawcze, ale też przez poszukiwaczy wiedzy do rozwiązywania przede wszystkim takich przyziemnych, potrzebnych problemów dla siebie samego jest ciekawym sposobem na to, żeby właśnie wziąć przede wszystkim zrozumienie tej wiedzy, tak jak dr Keshe często mówi, o tym kopiowaniu, naśladowaniu, powiedzieć słowo w słowo bez konieczności zrozumienia tego, co robimy i to prowadzi do tego, że po pierwsze ta wiedza nie jest wcale dalej rozwijana, po drugie też nie rośnie zrozumienie, bo jeśli tylko kopiujemy, jeśli tylko powtarzamy cały czas to samo, to znaczy, że posiłkujemy się tymi materiałami w pewien sposób i cały czas się do czegoś odnosimy, a nie do własnego zrozumienia. Była też zapowiedź produktów tej sprzedaży z Chin, która ma ruszyć, produkty w cenie 9,99, 19,99, to myślę, że cena była podana w euro. W każdym razie dr Keshe nawiązuje do tego, że dostępność tych produktów będzie w całej gamie różnych nowych produktów, różnych kolorów itd., więc każdy będzie mógł w takiej już normalniejszej cenie niż to, co obserwowaliśmy wcześniej, gdzie często te opaski różnego rodzaju rzeczy kosztowały po 49, 59 i tak dalej, więc myślę, że coś ciekawego, na co można też patrzeć, można powiedzieć z ciekawością, z nadzieją, bo myślę, że każdy by też chciał sobie przy takiej cenie miałby okazję do tego, żeby wypróbować te produkty na samym sobie. Oczywiście każdy z poszukiwaczy wiedzy pewnie posiada wiedzę, żeby zrobić te produkty, ale na jakiś tam prezent czy w kwestii porównania, wypróbowania też myślę, że jest takie zastosowanie, więc te badania na pierwszym, można powiedzieć, stopniu i dla studentów i w kierunku właśnie rozwiązywania różnych problemów obecnego świata industrialnych, współpraca z firmami, różnymi rządami, właśnie poprzez wykorzystanie plazmy i gansu tej technologii do rozwoju obecnej wiedzy i technologii, którą posiadały. Było też wspomniane o książkach, patentach, o tym, że będą wypuszczane kolejne książki w 2020. Było też zaproszenie takie dość niespodziewane dla Dirka Loresensa do dokończenia książki numer 4. To jest książka, nad którą on razem z doktorem Keshe pracował. Tam z tego, co kojarzę, to robił ilustracje i dopracowywał tą książkę, więc tutaj było, mimo tych wszystkich waśni, było zaproszenie do tego, że jeśli chce dokończyć to co zaczął, to doktor Keshe go zaprasza. Później mieliśmy dość sporo wytłumaczenia odnośnie tej jednostki wzmacniającej, że dr Keshe tłumaczył, że jest przede wszystkim dla podróży w kosmosie, że działa na poziomie właśnie pakietów energii, którymi są wirusy na przykład i to, co mamy w kosmosie, to są właśnie tylko te pakiety energii, te wirusy, które wpływają na nas, więc ta jednostka przede wszystkim nadaje się do balansowania na tym poziomie. Działa lepiej właśnie na poziomie tego pakietu energetycznego duszy. W zasadzie to jak dr Keshe mówi, ma zero związku z aminokwasem fizyczności, więc działając na tym poziomie niefizycznym, to działanie fizyczności jest bardzo szybkie. Tutaj też dr Keshe tłumaczył to w kontekście Parkinsona, jak wygląda to zastosowanie. Porównał tą jednostkę też do łona wszechświata, że w środku ma kształt unikosu czy wszechświata, jakkolwiek sobie to przetłumaczymy. I później zaczęła się seria dość takich, można powiedzieć, kluczowych i zarazem filozoficznych pytań, czyli twierdzenie takie, że kreator musi mieć pozycję, musi mieć kierunek przepływu pól, z którego jest stworzona to dusza kreatora i oczywiście też co za tym idzie jego fizyczność, czyli fizyczność Boga, która to jest właśnie tym całym wszechświatem, wszystkim, co obserwujemy, wszystkimi planetami, całą materią, jego właśnie fizycznością, więc powiedzenie, że Bóg nas otacza, albo że Bóg jest we wszystkim, na co patrzymy, na co podniesiemy, gdzie nie zerkniemy, a nie tylko w Kościele, to myślę, że to jest też właśnie głębsze zrozumienie i dostrzeżenie tego, że właśnie te elementy Boga, Jego totalność jest wokół nas i możemy doświadczyć każdego z aspektów właśnie kreacji fizyczności Boga, tak jak sobie to tutaj tłumaczymy. I to filozoficzne pytanie, kurę czy jajko, tak samo to pytanie tyczy się kreatora, ale skąd właśnie pochodzą te pola, które stworzyły kreatora. Myślę, że też warty przesłuchania ponownie kawałek, bo tutaj tymi pytaniami retorycznymi dr Keshe też w pewien sposób nawiguje w kierunku pewnych odpowiedzi, daje tropy na to, jak możemy rozumieć to, co tutaj stara się nam przekazać. Wspomniał też o kontroli ludzi poprzez czarną magię i że to dzieje się właśnie dlatego, że sami nie rozumiemy swojej własnej duszy i dajemy się właśnie z tą trzecią łamiać. Wierzymy w to, że ktoś ma nad czymś kontrolę w jakiś sposób i poprzez to poddajemy się tej kontroli. Była też ciekawa taka opowieść o jakiejś tam imprezie z różnego rodzaju narodowościami, flagach, tańcach i jakie tam wnioski z tego wynikły, jeśli chodzi właśnie o jednoczenie się tych ludzi z różnych narodów, którzy byli tam obecni. Tutaj też dr Keshe w pewien sposób stawia wyzwanie liderom światowym, że być może będą się bali wejść do tych systemów, bo wyjdą na równi z innymi. Mówił o tym, że będą chcieli jedną jednostkę postawić w Brukseli, jedną w Watykanie, więc też tutaj seria pytań, czy papież na przykład pozwoli swojej gromadzie księży wejść i przekonać się, stanąć, można powiedzieć, przed własną duszą i zdać sobie sprawę, że jaka jest naprawdę ta pozycja, a nie ta, która została w pewien sposób sztucznie wykreowana, przepraszam. I to w zasadzie tyle, jeśli chodzi o moje takie krótkie streszczenie tego warsztatu. Oczywiście zapraszam, jeśli ktoś ma jakieś pytania, komentarze, czy to poprzez otwarcie mikrofonu, podniesienie ręki, czy napisanie czegoś na czacie, można śmiało zadawać. Dzisiaj mieliśmy trochę problemów technicznych, nie tylko w samym warsztacie, co było widać zresztą też trochę po tłumaczeniu, ale też trochę później zaczęły nam się warsztaty, nie mieliśmy porządnego przedstawienia tej tablicy, też przeczytania, więc może przynajmniej na koniec, korzystając z okazji, jeszcze oczywiście dam każdemu czas, jakby chciał coś powiedzieć, to proszę się wtrącić i otwierać mikrofon. A jeśli nie, to były warsztaty publiczne w języku polskim, 318 już w czwartek 12 grudnia o godzinie 21. Dzisiaj mieliśmy omówienie pierwszej części tłumaczenia 305 warsztatu poszukiwaczy wiedzy od 7 minuty do godziny 32, czyli oglądaliśmy tutaj równą połowę, przepraszam, tego tłumaczenia, które mamy, a tłumaczyliśmy cały warsztat, więc drugą połowę będziemy oglądać już w niedzielę, na co oczywiście zapraszam. Jeśli ktoś by chciał jeszcze coś dodać, to też zapraszam. Ok, także dzięki za dzisiaj. Zatrzymamy nagrywanie, nie będę puszczał tego filmiku na koniec, bo akurat tutaj limitacje sprzętowe do tego doprowadziły, także zamykamy. Dzięki wszystkim i do zobaczenia.